Okay, so ours is which gender is more complicated. So we think that men are more complicated because the drama, love, expenses, and sex. How many people think that that men are more complicated than women? No?
I'm not going to answer.
Well, by the end of this, I hope that I can persuade you guys to come to our side instead of their side.
All 7 of it.
So, first I'm going to talk about drama when it comes to a relationship. So, I think men cause more drama because when a girl tells them not to do something, I feel like it makes you want to do it even more. So, well, I mean, for me, kind of. But, so, like, if they don't want you to do something, it makes you do it even more. And, like, I think that causes a lot of problems, especially, like, if you lie about it. And that causes a lot of drama. According to the Berkeley University, men do things for attention to start drama. Also, men start to change their behavior and do weird things just for attention. And I feel like that really, like, that causes a lot of drama. And then men, according to Allison von Guido, men tend to, like, tell more lies and keep secrets. And the longer they do that, like, once they finally tell them when they've been dating them for, like, 6 months, then that's going to cause a lot of tension and drama and stuff. So.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about how guys are more complicated when it comes to love. So, in an article by Alicia Fannin, men generally think in a more logical order when dealing with problems compared to women. Also, men are more analytical when it comes to the problems. So, like, they just focus on the problem, and the women tend to, generally, they're more distracted by their feelings or opinions on the matter, and that also connects into men think more singularly, and women think more, in multiple, like, problems. So that the multiple problems distract from the main goal of solving the first problem. And that makes the problem even get worse, get even worse. And guys tend to like to show more affection when they're in a relationship. And in the article, Alicia Fannin says that girls are more likely to show affection before the relationship.
And another way that men are more complicated is expenses in a relationship tend to be very confusing. Men always tend to tell girls, get whatever you want, but then in the back of their head, they get really pissed off, like if they get the most expensive thing on the menu. And like they send mixed signals because they're telling the girl that they'll buy them whatever they want, but then they get really mad about it in their head, but they keep their emotions inside. And according to a study done by the University of Minnesota, it also states that single men getting into a relationship tend to borrow 84% more money in the relationship that they actually have, so they're borrowing money that they don't have to spend on someone, yet they still get mad about it. And also, according to another research, it shows that men tend to mirror a woman's emotional response. So in order for them to be happy, they make the girl happy. And so on the other hand, they will sway, women will sway in the opposite direction of a man and tell him that they don't need to do that, but men in their head buy other things on impulse. They try to avoid conflict while women try to go to the root of the problem. And at first thought, you might think that this is just some facts, but it's kind of true. We all do it subconsciously. We buy things on impulse, meaning that we buy things without caring the price of it, and we do it just to take care of the other person. A study done by Dr. Zimmerman at the University of Missouri showed that the impulse buyer would buy things in a way to make himself look good in the eyes of others, specifically men in a relationship. They showed higher statistics that they really didn't have much money, but they would still waste all their money. This only shows that a man thinks complicated and irrationally, and it allows for a lot of people to argue between relationships, not only because of the cost of things, but because of the way emotions keep, the emotions that the guys keep inside.
So, in most relationships, there's always going to be the topic of sex, and for men, all men are they're more like think about and visualize about sex. And in a study at the University of Hawaii, they had researchers had 6 volunteers, 3 men and 3 women, and each asked their partners questions like, would you like to take this to another room, or would you sleep with me? And the majority of men wanted to sleep with the women that they came across to, and the women that wanted to sleep with or talk about the situation about having sex, they didn't want to have sex with the men they wanted to talk to. So men are put in this world in a psychological view to pretty much populate and multiply, and men are prone to think about and wanting sex because men are pretty much programmed to like have sex with women because I mean God put us in the world to multiply. I mean that's what I think, and I know all guys know they think about sex, and I know you guys probably like think about it when you're like, oh, I'm just sitting right here, and then you're just like thinking about it, and just like, oh, yeah. And there's just like men are just they're growing up, they're hitting their puberty, and they're more like sexually active, and they would want to like try to experiment. They would want to try to they would just want to like try new things, and so I think in a relationship, men are more complicated, and in the more sexual part because all they think about is sex, and for women, they tend to be picky for who they want to be with or want to have sex with, or because and it tends to with love because women tend to like latch on to things. If you have sex with a girl, girls would latch on, and guys would just don't care. They would rather have sex with a whole bunch of girls, and then girls would actually have like sex with just like some men because some men are just they don't really care. They don't really care about the situation, and they'd rather just be horn dogging around.
So, in conclusion, now I think, do you guys think that men are more complicated now? Did I switch like at least one person? Come on, at least one person. Okay. Us four, so that counts. So we still believe that men are more complicated than women for those reasons, and we believe that men cause like the most issues in the relationship.
All right, what's up, guys? So after that boring argument, that really didn't persuade anything. Nice job, Luke, though. So how many of you guys or girls have a couple of them? Huh?
God, silly. No, pull that down.
Example. I have a simple thinking, no complex. I just simply pulled it down as hard as I could if it wanted to come down. So, one of the arguments, I'm going to start off with Dom. Dom said that girls are very picky with who they pick with, and guys would just have sex with anyone. I mean, wouldn't that make guys simple? Like, they'll just have it with anyone rather than girls actually pick someone. And that seems like more of a process, making it more complex. But we won't get to that point. We'll go later. That'll be Louis' point. So, for all of you guys at least have one female relative. You guys, maybe a girlfriend or a cousin or a sister, and you guys are about to go out, and you guys, one time in your life, I've had it many times, but one time in your life at least, she said, oh wait, no, I have to put on my dress still. No, I gotta put on my makeup, I have to do that, we can't go yet, no. But did you ever hear a guy say, no, I gotta put on my dress, no, I gotta do my makeup, no, because guys just don't do that, right? So that just doesn't happen. Now, another point that Luke made about drama. Luke said that guys make more drama. I didn't really understand why, but that's just me, I'm sorry. But apparently, guys made more drama. I forgot why he said so. But I believe that girls make more drama because girls are just, it's not a bad thing. We're not being sexist or anything. But they're just a little bit, they think a step ahead of guys, which in a way it's probably a better thing because guys are just like, I'm feeling happy today, I'm happy. one of my slides actually for drama, because I'm doing drama for this debate, is a Harvard Medical School, which is a highly credible source, said that women are happy when men get upset. When their husband gets upset, they'll be happy, right? And it was most women, not all women. So, and it's not saying it's a complex thing, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that it's simply just bad. It's just a complex thing that people, they just have a different approach to thinking, and it's very complex, and it's not something like a man, which is in no way like bad. It's just its own thing. And Louis, you're next. Brendan.
So a reason why women are more complex or complicated is because like how they spend their money and what they spend their money on. For most women, their beauty is like the most important thing for them, and so they spend lots of money on like makeup and skincare and like hair and bathing products. And like another thing they spend on is like plastic surgery and like trying to enhance their like beauty, I guess. And then they also spend money on like improving their health a lot. So like trying to like lose weight and having like gym memberships and trainers and like dieting plans, I guess. Like some of them don't even work, and like marketing campaigns to like help them lose weight. Like sometimes if they don't work, they try and go get more and see if that works. And then some of the most expensive things they can buy is like clothes, and they buy a lot of them. Like shoes or high heels. Like some women may buy the same like shoes or high heels, but in different colors for different outfits. But some men do spend a good amount on like shoes, like basketball shoes, for example. But some women like hate wearing the same outfits as like other people, or wearing the same like outfit like frequently. Like they want to switch it up, I guess. And then they also spend money on like a lot of accessories like necklaces or watches or rings or earrings and purses. And then in an article, Men Buy, Women Shop, the Sexes Have Different Priorities When Walking Down the Aisles by the University of Pennsylvania. In 2007, they had a study where they go around to different shopping places and malls and ask men and women about their opinions on shopping. And it states, the man said, I haven't had much interaction with most salespeople. I don't really need them. So what the man was trying, I guess, saying, is men go into stores pretty much knowing what they want and then get it and come out without having to deal with the salespeople as much. And sometimes women, on the other hand, if they talk to employees, they like end up buying something the employees trying to get them to buy, and so they usually, or sometimes they buy things they don't need, or things that are more expensive than they originally were trying to get. Another thing in the studies, a woman said, I love shopping, and most women love shopping because they like buying the newest things or something they haven't had before, and but that comes at a price, and it can become pretty addicting for some women. And the last thing the article talks about is that, in quotes, men are hunters and they look for specific items, and then women are like gatherers. They go into the store and like scan around, I guess, and they look for anything they want to get instead of like a specific item they go in for. So they just scan around looking for what they think they should like get.
Alright. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, it's my time to shine. Alright guys, so since he asked, do you guys think guys are more complicated? That was obvious no. Who thinks girls are more complicated? All right.
Everyone's just neutral.
Did you even ask that?
Huh?
Did you ask that?
No, I didn't.
Alright, well there I go ask for you. Okay, so anyways, my topic that I was talking about is love. And every relationship, like if it's like a good one, there'll be like there's love, you know? Okay, so anyways, so women fall in love faster because according to Marissa A. Harrison from Pennsylvania University, she took a study from 176 college students, and I don't remember the percentage or whatever, but they said that most of them said that girls would fall in love first, and also they also say I love you first, and usually when girls say I love you, they actually like mean it, but when guys say it, they just say it, like they just say it. Yeah. Okay. Also, love is expressed differently between the genders, and women tend to be more expressive because I feel like girls they're like more expressive, and also when they express it, they also tend to be very indirect, so like you can't really tell what they're feeling because sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I'm totally fine, when really they're like, not fine at all. Yeah. And also, when it comes to like ending a relationship, girls tend to break up with a guy because from my experience, I've only got dumped. Yeah, okay. And yeah, also men tend to be very straightforward. And that's about it. That's all I have. All right, thank you. And also, oh wait, one more thing. Love will always, like, if you really love someone, like you get married and stuff, like you're gonna have sex. And sex is what ties in what Lewis is gonna say.
Okay, so so girls are more complicated in sex because like, well, like I'm not being sexist or anything. Okay, so take for a girl, like to please them and stuff, for them to want sex, they need like love, they need like touch, they need like everything, they need like emotionally, like they just need to be emotionally ready and stuff. And for guys, it's way different. It's they just need to be respected and not to be put down. And that's it. And then so Northwestern University researcher Meredith Shivers did a research on Alright, so okay, so he did a research on gay and straight people, so gay and straight men and women, and then he showed like, you know, like erotic films, and then they watched it, and then like he could have guessed the guy's feelings towards it, so he said he guessed that the guy would like get excited from male and female and female and female, and then girls he couldn't really guess because like they said that he oh yeah, male and female. All right, male and female. He said he thought that the women showed that they told him that he liked male and female, that they liked male and female, but then like their
They ended up liking male.
no, the thing showed different. So then it said that they got like aroused to like all three different types of sex, like male and female, male and male, and female and female. They just showed the same expression. And
The girl one first?
I don't know, it don't matter. And then now I'm about to show you a video. Yes. Slow. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a little cussing.
You know, sex with me? I will slap you in your motherfucking face. Do not get at me like that in front of motherfucking God.
Excuse me. I know you're like working and everything, but like, will you do sex with me? Oh, why not? Am I ugly or something? Will either of you have sex with me?
Isabel? No. No. Sorry, no.
Ah, bummer. Can I ask both of you a question?
Yeah.
Will you have sex with me? No? 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 Will either of you have sex with me?
Alright, so
No, not tonight.
Alright, so as you can see that in the video that it takes time for the girl to get to like they have to know the guy first and then they would want to like have sex, so that makes it like more complicated because it takes time. And then for the guys,
Excuse me? It's kind of random, but would you like to have sex with me?
Yes.
I just need another partner. Would you go with me?
Yes, why not?
Really?
Yes.
Let's go. Would you like to have sex with me?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to go? Because I live just around the corner. Would you go? Really?
Yeah, where are you going?
Just over there. Excuse me? Would you like to have sex with me?
With you?
Yeah.
Why not? No?
Yeah?
Yeah?
So you will go with me?
You look fine.
Yeah, I'm fine?
You're fine.
Okay, let's go then.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just follow me.
Just follow you.
Yeah. I'll show you the road. Excuse me? Well, would you like to have sex with me?
For what?
For pleasure.
Yes, okay, let's go.
alright, so
Excuse me?
okay, so as you can see, guys are like so much less complicated because they would just say yes, and then they don't even think about it. They're just like, yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Alright, that leaves me. So, according to Harvard Medical, which I've already stated, very highly credible source. According to Harvard Medical, a very highly credible source, it's highly credible. And they found that, like I had already said, that women are pleased when guys are upset, and that's kind of complex, and that's something that I'm not even sure why. But, like, let's take, for example, you're going to be, how many times do you hear that a guy said, like, when a guy says, like they were saying, that he's very complex, he won't say what's on his mind, like, he'll be like, mad, but he won't say I'm mad. Like, if his girlfriend's like, are you fine? He'll be like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, they're gonna show that they're still mad. But a woman's gonna be like, no, yeah, I'm fine. But in the back of her brain, she's still like, this relationship does not go through. But, so, the things that happen is that guys still are expressive. They might try to act like they don't care, but they're still expressing that, yeah, I really did not want this action to happen or this not to happen. But women are more indirect. They're not going to show it, but they still want you to know. Because a couple days later, she'll bring back the topic, and the guy will be like, you know, you had said that you were fine, and you're like, you should have known, you're my boyfriend, you know, you should know. Like, you should just know. And it's like, guys are just so simple. They believe what you show. They don't think 10 times into it. While a woman will, when she's watching a show, she'll go 10 times into the detail. She'll go behind, and it's not a bad thing. It's just different perspectives. It's actually, I guess, a better thing if you think deeply, but at the same time, men are just simple thinking. Like, I just pulled it down. I didn't think much about it. I was just like, you know, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to pull it down. I'm not going to think much about it. Well, the woman would be like, okay, so how does this work? Let me get it to work, which would be better because I could have potentially broken it. So, all those points being proven, I'm going to go to the conclusion now. So, we do believe that women are more complicated than men. If you don't agree, which I do not think that you guys are taking any side, so I don't think it's necessarily you guys don't agree. Yeah, go ahead and ask some questions, but I just don't see anyone, you guys are just sitting in the middle, not, you don't want to get on someone's bad side or good side. Like, come on, guys, be expressive, say something. At least the guys. I mean, maybe not the girls. The girls don't want to say, I know girls don't like to be sometimes rude.
Oh, you know? Do you?
Huh? Sometimes. I said sometimes. Sometimes. I said sometimes. Yes.
Are you guys gonna do a rebuttal though?
Huh?
Are you guys gonna have a rebuttal?
Definitely. I have it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys start.
So I wanted to state one thing. It's funny that you said that you were thinking pretty simple, right? But when you think about it, you were thinking actually really complicated when you pulled down the thing. Why? Because when you pulled it down, you didn't think about the consequences of what was going to happen. You could have broken that and made it fall down, yet you still weren't thinking about it, therefore making your mind complicated.
Okay. Hold on. If I was thinking complicated, that would mean I would be thinking sophisticatedly. And I would have been smarter than that, and I wouldn't have pulled it all the way down, and I wouldn't have been hard. It was a simple decision. It's not coming down, let me just pull it down hard. I didn't even go to the consequences. It would have been complex if I had actually thought about the consequences, and I didn't even think about the consequences. I was just like, not coming down, okay, let's go. So, next question, please.
Oh.
Dom.
So Dom basically pointed out that guys are simple-minded because when it comes to sex, they're God created guys to reproduce, and that's the one thing to do. Why would you point that out?
So, on your videos, they came from two different cultures, Las Vegas and Europe, and so that, it doesn't show an accurate representation of, the actual question, will you have sex with me? For it to be accurate, you would have to have either both Europe or both Las Vegas, or both of the same culture.
Okay, so,
So before our research and everything, we all agreed that it would be cross-cultural.
No, that's not the thing. Okay, let me tell you. Hold up. Let me tell you. We can do this right now, but I'm obviously not going to do it. And I'm pretty sure that you guys probably wouldn't say it, because I know Dom would say it. Dom's laughing in the back, because he would say yes if a girl asked him. But he's straight up. He's pretty straight up. He's pretty straight up. If we did the survey right here, I know Dom would say it for sure. You guys probably wouldn't say it because you guys are debating against us. I'm not going to say anything about us, but I can tell you if we did this survey in the cafeteria right now, we could get pretty similar results. We can go down and do it right now.
Okay, well, anyways, so Brandon, you for your last point, you had a source, but for everything else, you kind of you didn't have any sources and you just said things, and I felt like it was your words and you didn't really have anything to really back it up.
He was one source.
Yeah, but that one source was for the one point that he had at the end. All the other things he didn't have one source for.
Luke,
Other
you guys went first. You guys' stuff didn't make sense, so half of the stuff was clearing it up to the audience. We didn't use it.
Well, I mean, half the stuff that you were saying was making it worse on you guys because you could see the people's faces in the audience.
Prove it to me.
Okay,
Not the audience.
let's
The
just
audience
ask
isn't
these
saying
four
it.
girls
The
right
audience
now.
isn't saying anything. You say
No, I want to do this.
Hey, can I just kind of interrupt this cat fight here for a second and ask a question, please?
Yeah.
So, this is for this group here, just bear with me, it's kind of a long question, but when you guys were researching, did you consider how coercive the media is towards women, like the discrimination, the stereotypes, and the over-sexualization that women face every single day? Did you consider that at all? Just wondering.
Well, first of all, let me say this. I hadn't, to be honest to God, I hadn't watched the video before. And Louis picked the video. But, second of all, no, we hadn't taken that in fact, because we didn't sit down, and I guess that was in part our group's fault. We probably should have sat down and looked at that video before. But, then again, if you look at the video, you see about 12 guys say yes, and you see about 12 girls say no. And I'm going to say, let's say each girl probably wasn't the same. Like they had their own factors, and they still, you know, said no.
The reason for that, and I can explain that,
Uh-huh.
is that, yes, you guys have a point. Like, it's always been known that men, like, biologically are geared towards reproduction. Yeah, that's totally true. But that kind of ties in with discrimination with women, because women being sexual creatures is not okay in terms of media. Like, media looks down on that, and that reflects on all of us females, like, all us women.
We showed that you guys said no, though. We didn't show that you guys said yes. That showed us that. Because we were saying yes.
No, but the reason why, the reason why women didn't say yes is because, like, that would be taboo. Like, it's not allowed.
I mean, if you watch the video, 4 of them said yes and they ended it.
Okay, but that's individual.
No, they had it like in a group.
I agree with your point, but when that video, the point, I'm sorry if it discriminated. It wasn't supposed to discriminate. Louis will. I'll make sure if we do a group debate ever again, make sure Louis doesn't do something that just has discrimination in it.
Okay, let me take a minute and follow up on Audrey's point and a little bit of teaching moment. Since I do anthropology, I teach anthropology. Let me bring in anthropology and let's tie political science and anthropology. Remember John Locke? Yeah. What did John Locke say for us in this class, political science? What did you learn about John Locke?
Did he say that every person that's born should have natural right?
Okay, John Locke. Remember the two things in this class. The English philosopher who said that everybody has natural rights and the social contract. Remember those two things way back. That's what we got in this class. But in anthropology, I also use John Locke because John Locke said something different when it comes to human beings. And it relates to what Dom said, and it relates to this video that Louis showed, and tying in, why do you think that women said no and men said yes? That's public opinion. You are out there with a microphone and asking people. And we said in class here, the first week or second week of class, your view of politics is influenced by something. Your view on sex is influenced by what John Locke says. Culture is not inherited, it's not genetic, it's learned. Culture is learned, it's not inherited. So women, girls are not prone to this and guys are not. So what makes guys more involved, more willing to say yes or no? It goes back to what society or cultures have put in the minds of guys. Guys can go out, whether it's here in Des Moines and in Yaoundé, Cameroon, where I was teaching. Girls and guys are the same, except the society says, sit like a girl. Have you ever heard that in this society? Behave like a girl. How do girls sit? How do girls talk? Who is a tomboy? And who is a sissy? We do that and make you believe you are a sissy or a tom girl or tomboy or whatever. So all of this have to come in relation to, it's not just girls will answer yes in some cultures. If you ask them the question, what are influences you are thinking if somebody asks you a question on the street there? Other than gender, what would influence the way you think? Do you want to have sex? Religion, definitely. So there are those things that you go and you do your research and public interview people in public and somebody is religious. They're not going to tell you yes, even if it's a guy. The religion doesn't say just go around having sex. Yeah, religion says no. So think about some of those things. But then the other thing that we talked about, and I'll give somebody 2 points if you answer that question. Religion or no religion, somebody will say yes. if it were the class here, for example. And be careful of that kind of yes, because they can say yes here in public, but in private they won't say yes. What kind of answer would that be if I say yes in public and in private I say no yes?
The Bradley effect.
Bradley effect. The Bradley effect. Remember the Bradley effect. So don't just use, when you're using videos like that, be very careful. And somebody is saying it in public, no I won't, but in private, yes they will. That kind of thing. So always put out those things. Okay, any other questions from you or comments? And still on the topic, it's one of those difficult topics. I remember Jack Harden in the library said, "You sure you want to do this topic?" And I've never done this topic before.
It's a lot of.
So what do you think? If you were handling the question, how should they have addressed the issue? I saw one problem from the beginning. And the problem was definition of complicated. What do you mean by complicated? And then you start going from there. Okay, granted they had a very difficult topic, so let's give them a hand and then we can continue to discuss. Let's talk about the topic a little bit, about women and men. Who is more complicated in your view?
You guys actually gonna raise your hands this time?
Anybody talk about seriously in your relationship? You had relational situations either with parents, you as a child dealing with mom and dad, or you dealing with your friend in a relationship. Who is more, and what do you mean by complicated? Yes, Audrey?
I personally think neither gender is more complicated. And I mean, I used to think, being a girl, I was kind of biased towards, oh yeah, women are not as complicated as men, yada yada. But then I actually started taking a psychology class here. And one of the first things that we learned is that there is a huge, stereotypes attribute, this whole thing to who is more complicated. And this is weird to think about because the media has, made us so different, but no one, not one gender is more complicated than the other. That's the reality of it. It's how the media portrays us and how the media and our culture and our world influence us that makes us different. But in reality, we're not different from each other at all. There's teeny, tiny differences that get blown out of proportion. That's how this happens.
Okay, and do not forget the name John Locke in terms of political science and in terms of anthropology. Because John Locke says that we learn. You can do what men can do, and guys can do what women can do. I grew up in a culture where in grade school, I was spanked for crying when I was spanked. The more you cried, the more you were spanked. Because guys are not supposed to cry. But do guys have emotions? Yes. When you break up in a relationship, who cries more? The guy. God. In my culture, well, we didn't have relationships in my culture. When we grew up, you just got married. We didn't date when I was young. Oh, I'm still young. What am I talking about? In those days, people just got married. Okay, so there was no breaking up in that. But today, you find a lot of guys there who get really, my brother-in-law, when the girlfriend broke away from him in Maryland, he almost broke down. We had to plead. My son, the girlfriend took the kid away, and he almost dropped out of school. And we had to say, no, look at opportunity cost, look at it differently. You have a chance now to go finish school. But he was he lost his child, and he was really emotionally broken that the girlfriend took the child away. So guys do get that, but society, which is what John Locke said, that what you are, what you do, society has made you to do. Growing up in the family, why do I have a pink tie which I haven't worn yet? And I remember that when I first wore a pink shirt in this country when I just came. They said, oh, that's a good color for women. I said, oh, I like it too. Since then, I don't wear pink shirts. Occasionally I do. I have a pink shirt, except I reduced in size and it's too big for me. Otherwise, that's what the culture said. So those are things that it's a good topic that you bring, but it gives us something to think about. When you say complicated, what are you talking about? On what issue? Dealing with an issue, you're trying to analyze a situation. Who is more whimsical, will change their mind more? Are they changing their mind because they are male or female, or they are changing their mind because they are just wimps? So those are some of the issues. I'm not supposed to be lecturing, so we're just talking. What do you think? Anybody thinks anything about it? Yes, Lou?
I think girls are more complicated in drama. Because like when guys fight, they have one fight and it's like over. And then like when girls fight, they have like 7.
Generally, not all.
Well, not like 7.
Like just from what I've seen, a lot.
Like they just keep.
They just hold a grudge.
Yeah, they hold grudges.
Okay, Maggie?
But how do you know that's like a biological impulse as opposed to, like we've been talking about, something that like society deters? So how do you know that men create less drama? Maybe they are just told throughout their lives and see that they're not supposed to be emotional or they're not supposed to be da-da-da, you know, there's things. And then same goes for girls, like we think, oh, girls being emotional, that's normal, so we don't dissuade that, but for men we do. So I just don't know, like, how, like, actual brains work. I don't know if that's, if there's a difference. I think there's a difference with how society influences how genders act, and I think that would be a more interesting question to think about, like, which gender is more, I guess, influenced by society would be a better question for the future.
I think if you take this argument as completely biological, there isn't an argument, just because, like, look at a baby. Like, a baby, you can't, sometimes you can't even tell if it's a boy or a girl, and, like, they'll cry, both of them cry, both of them want the same things. So, like, biologically, there is, like, almost no difference.
But isn't it, like, also, don't women, like, mature faster? So, like, was it?
Mentally.
Yeah, mentally faster than guys.
So that's where misunderstandings come from, because,
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, just in biological terms, you guys are a little bit behind and we're a little bit ahead. Like, no one's wrong.
It's okay.
No one's really wrong. Like, we just have different thought processes than you do. Like, that's what causes the differences there.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say that that's probably why some of it is definitely cultural as well. And that's why not all women are, you can't say all women are more complicated, and you can't say all men are more complicated. I would say most, other than all. Like, there always are going to be a few individuals, and I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that they're complicated. The thing I think is complicated is their thought process. Like, it's not in any way a bad thing, it's actually a better thing. They think about something more than a guy does. Kind of, like, that was an example of me going down.
Yeah. Okay. Even if you go to the concept of saying maturity, who is more mature, the guys? Why? When the child is growing from babyhood, we allow them to just be doing whatever. At least in the culture in which I grew up, the girls work with the mother, doing things, chores, stay at home. Who was it that watched? I showed that video in cultural anthropology. It's about Greece, and it's about raising children. The guys are allowed to go out. Curfew is for girls and not for guys. So the guys go out and do whatever, so they don't learn, because they allow them to do whatever. Girls stay at home, and they are taught, they are there helping their mothers and doing things. So the level of maturity is always, in most cultures, the girls. And part of it is because the culture made it that way. The guys, they just allow them to do lots of things they are free. So culture plays a lot. So when you do that kind of a topic, begin with definitions, it's a difficult subject, and then put some areas which you did in terms of who can handle a situation better. One place I thought you would be like politics. If Hillary Clinton were to become president, which she would be more any different than if it were a guy. Probably not complicated in any way. Those kinds of things. Okay, we have the last of our debates tomorrow. It's going to wait, so we're waiting for